Do you know who was the first person to refuse to give up her seat on a Montgomery bus? In the annals of civil rights history, a name that often remains overshadowed is that of Claudette Colvin. Just a teenager in March of 1955, Claudette was the unsung heroine who defied the racial segregation laws of Montgomery, Alabama. 9 months before Rosa Parks would make headlines, it was Claudette who first dared to stand, or rather sit, for what was right. She was only 15 when she bravely refused to yield her seat to a white woman and was subsequently arrested. This was an act of defiance that challenged the status quo, an act that would set the stage for a landmark legal battle against bus segregation. Yet her story was not one that civil rights campaigners chose to highlight. The story of Claudette Colvin, however, remains largely untold. On March 2, 1955, Claudette Colvin's life changed forever. On this day, she embarked on a journey that would etch her name into the annals of civil rights history. A mere 15-year-old, Claudette boarded a Montgomery bus, her heart pounding with the rhythm of rebellion. As the bus rumbled along, it began to fill up. When a white woman boarded, the bus driver ordered Claudette to give up her seat. But Claudette, with the spirit of defiance coursing through her veins, refused. She held her ground, stating, "It's my constitutional right to sit here as much as that lady." In that moment, Claudette Colvin became a symbol of resistance. Unmoved by the threats and the hostile stares, she stood her ground. Her refusal to surrender her seat was not simply about a place to sit. It was a refusal to accept the dehumanizing norms of segregation. It was a protest against the deeply ingrained racial inequality that permeated every aspect of society. The police were called and Claudette was arrested, her act of defiance marking her as a criminal in the eyes of the law. But to those who yearned for justice and equality, she was a hero. Her courage was a beacon of hope, inspiring others to challenge the status quo. Claudette Colvin's defiance was a spark that would ignite a movement. Her boldness served as a catalyst for change, setting the stage for monumental shifts in the landscape of American civil rights. After her arrest, Claudette Colvin did not fade into obscurity. Rather, she became a beacon of resistance, setting the stage for a legal battle that would challenge the very foundations of segregation in Montgomery. Claudette Colvin, the young, audacious teenager, was not alone in this fight. She was one of several plaintiffs in a groundbreaking court case known as Browder v. Gale. This legal battle, spearheaded by the indomitable civil rights attorney Fred Gray, challenged Montgomery's bus segregation laws head-on. Gray was a formidable figure in the civil rights movement, a tireless advocate for justice, whose legal acumen was instrumental in the fight against segregation. The case was no small undertaking. It was a direct challenge to the systemic discrimination entrenched in Montgomery's public transportation system. It required courage, resilience, and an unwavering belief in the pursuit of justice. And at the heart of it all was Claudette Colvin, a young girl whose act of defiance sparked a revolution. The court case was a resounding success. The judges ruled in favor of the plaintiffs, declaring Montgomery's bus segregation laws unconstitutional. This was a landmark victory, a testament to the power of resistance and the indomitable spirit of those who dare to challenge the status quo. Claudette Colvin's fight in the courtroom helped to dismantle the legal foundations of segregation. Her story reminds us that change often begins with a single act of defiance, a single voice refusing to be silenced. Claudette Colvin's story may not be as well known as Rosa Parks, but her contribution to the civil rights movement is undeniable. The courageous act of this 15-year-old girl was shrouded in silence for reasons steeped in societal prejudices. Because she was young, unmarried, and pregnant, civil rights campaigners feared her story might not paint the picture they wanted for their cause. Yet the impact of her defiance was far-reaching, setting a precedent in the fight against racial segregation. In her later life, Claudette Colvin became a nurse, quietly continuing to make a difference in her community. Her story, though initially overlooked, has since gained recognition with numerous books and documentaries, bringing her act of courage to light. Today, her legacy lives on, inspiring future generations to stand up for their rights. Claudette Colvin, a brave teenager who refused to give up her seat, played a pivotal role in the civil rights movement. Her story serves as a reminder that anyone, regardless of age or circumstance, can make a difference in the fight for justice and equality.